Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
All right, we've been doing this for a year, but we've told no one about it, so it's time to let the world know. Hello, Facebook. All right, today we're going to be talking about some important news stories in the world of movies. First of all, the Golden Globes is canceled. A lot to talk about there. Also, Black Superman, it's probably happening. Like, it is probably going to really happen. A Black Superman. Warner Brothers is trying desperately to save itself. And then finally, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, favorites of the show, are directing a movie finally after just a string of producing credits. They are actually going to direct a movie, thank God, because we want to see them direct movies. Also, if you're watching this live, we want to let you know that we will introduce each news story as if it is a new video, because we will be clipping out the videos to show them separately on the U of Tube. Also, we are available on all YouTube channels as Kinetic Impressions and all podcasting platforms known as Kinetic Impressions. Thank you very much. Let's start with the first news story. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
And today we're going to be talking about a very hot topic in the world of movies. The Golden Globes have been canceled. So I read this entire BuzzFeed article. It's pretty long and very entertaining. Thankfully, BuzzFeed does not have a paywall, so you can read this thing. So to summarize, essentially what happened here with the Hollywood Foreign Press, which is the governing body of the Golden Globes, they were investigated because a movie called I Will Destroy You, a screenshot here, was not nominated in the last Golden Globes for anything. And a filmmaker who created a movie called Emily in Paris, screenshotted here, wrote an article in The Guardian back in, I believe, February 3rd, about how Emily in Paris was actually first written as a movie for people of color. And then when production, well, she was trying to get the movie basically made, or sorry, the TV show made, she decided to change the script and make it for Caucasian people. And because of that, she decided to write this article about I May Destroy You. I May Destroy You was also receiving a lot of accolades throughout the industry, but was not receiving any goodwill from the Golden Globes. So this article prompted I believe it was the Los Angeles Times to publish an investigation into the Hollywood Foreign Press, basically detailing a culture of bribery and just a complete ununderstanding of people of color cinema and TV shows. So a lot of the things that were kind of unearthed from this investigation, mainly, the Hollywood Foreign Press does not have any person of color residing in it. It is a body made up of 100 people of a press corps containing people from all over the planet. Also, Emily in Paris, the TV show that was nominated. Sorry, the Netflix movie that was nominated, actually invited is a TV show. I don't know. It's a movie. It's a TV show. I forget. Anyway, they essentially invited the entire Hollywood Foreign Press, but only 30 of their members. Remember, there's only 100 of them, to come to the set, and they showered them with a dinner and like a whole party, and they were given just a good happy time. So this also prompted the Los Angeles Times to investigate prior dealings of the Hollywood Foreign Press. And essentially what they unearthed was the fact that there was just a complete culture of movie production constantly bribing the Hollywood Foreign Press to come into their movies, like sets, and to watch special screenings, and to essentially just lavish them so that they will actually nominate their movies. And then and at the end of this investigation, after it was published, Netflix decided to not show them any of their projects. Then Amazon decided not to show them any of their projects, and then Warner Brothers decided not to show them any of their projects, prompting NBC to completely pull the plug on showing the Golden Globes next year, which then subsequently made Tom Cruise tweet that he's returning all of his Golden Globes. This is a large, massive story, but my man Drew, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the dealings happening with the Golden Globes at all in the past or at all
Dude,
at all?
I don't know. I've always had a bad feeling about the Golden Globes. I never liked it. I never enjoyed like watching it. I kind of skim through the winners at the end because I feel like somewhere in there you'll see some potential of how the Academy is gonna go. But other than that,
Right.
like, I don't. I've never. It's just always left me with a bad taste in my mouth. I never like who wins the Golden Globes because it's always polar opposite who I think should win in some categories. And this just goes to show you, like, this is some corrupt bullshit. I'm just gonna flat out say that corrupt bullshit,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
and like I'm looking at it. I was one of the sad people during the pandemic. I was desperate for television, really desperate for television. You know, like we all needed that media. We all needed some form of media in our lives. I watched Emily in Paris, and I watched I May Destroy You. I thought I May Destroy You was brilliant. I didn't think it was it wasn't even my cup of tea, and like but I thought I was gonna have like trouble getting into it. It was a great show. Emily in Paris, I finished it. I watched it. It was utter crap. I think the first season, like, it's so funny. The season finale, I just looked it up. The season finale was called Cancel Couture. It's called Cancel Couture.
Cancel Couture.
And I'm like, oh. And the Cancel Couture has the highest rating on IMDb of a 7.8.
Good Lord,
IMDb
of the
rating.
entire series. Of the entire series. Wow. Wow.
And so like that's the best rating of any episode. I just want to name you I'm going to go to one of my favorite shows, Peaky Blinders season 4. The season finale is a 9.5. The worst rating that it has is an 8.6 for that season. 8.6 is the worst Peaky Blinder episode of that season. Another show that it's a favorite of mine is Mr. Robot. Its first season, it had an 8.9 as a season finale. Now that's really unfair, but I'm like, it's really unfair to compare it to those two shows. But those are the two shows that I believe should have been winning Golden Globes.
For sure.
Like,
for sure. Yeah.
That's the way. Those are two shows that I think should be winning Golden Globes. No offense to Emily in Paris. I don't think that's a show that should be winning a Golden Globe. So like, I'm really glad that the Deborah Kopickin like spoke out about this. I didn't know. I think the show just changes dynamic if there's a person of color behind it.
Yeah.
I love the lead actress. Like, I like her in a lot of stuff that I watch her in other scenarios. But to tell me that, like, and you know, nothing against Lily Collins at all, but to tell me that this show was robbed of a person of color portraying the lead is like, it kind of like a little, just makes me a little sad. I'm like, I think we missed out. I think this could have been a way better show if it was like that. This show, by the way, Arnie, is like, it's a young Midwest American moving to Paris for the first time and having trouble with adapting to the culture. And she's like, she has a corporate job in this big city, and it's their first time abroad. She's like trying to get to know everything while trying to like study the culture and just survive in her job. So like, think of Devil Wears Prada, but she goes to foreign land and she does the same thing as Devil Wears Prada.
100%. Yeah.
And comparing that to the fabulous people at Devil Wears Prada, Devil Wears Prada is like a movie I'd watch every summer.
Shout out to Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good movie. It's a good movie for sure. No, I think your suspicions have been right, and I think what this investigation and obviously the article that was written is all a culmination of that sinking suspicion that the Golden Globes haven't really been fair in a lot of ways. And personally, I've been following movie news for like at least a decade now. And yes, there have been inklings of the Golden Globes not being fair and bribery happening in the culture of the Golden Globes for a while. These these suspicions have been floating around the industry forever, but they've just been, put under the rug because it's the Golden Globes. It's a precursor to the nominees of the Oscars. Whoever wins the Golden Globes usually wins the Oscars. But there has always been these weird little things that happened. Specifically, last year, maybe 2 years ago, I forget. 2020 was all messed up and my head's all messed up. But there was a movie.
Right.
There was a movie made by. It was about. It was about money. It was with what's his name? It was Mark Wahlberg. It had a reshoots because it had Kevin Spacey in it. It was completely redone and given to another actor. I think it was like All the Money in the World. It was about the kidnapping of one of the richest kids in the world. It was a true story. Anyway, so Kevin Spacey was originally going to play the original protagonist of the movie, but he was digitally removed because of the controversy. And then it was completely reshot with Christopher Plummer, and he was placed into the movie. That movie was nominated for a Golden Globe before it was ever released, and before the Christopher Plummer cut was ever released to the public or anyone from the press was able to see.
What?
Right? Shenanigans like that have happened in the Golden Globes all the time. Movies that were never even released to American press were nominated. Actors for movies who had never had screenings done were nominated for Golden Globes. Things like that have been all over the Golden Globes for a decade, if not longer than that. And then coupled with the fact that the entire Golden Globes, the Hollywood Foreign Press, has no person of color, coupled with the cancel culture environment that we're in, it all just culminated in just like, there's a lot of stink fest happening here. And our culture is just not willing to deal with any slight deviance in this fashion. Like, it is time to give people the chance. It is definitely time to give people the color a chance. And because of this history, that's what happened. That's what happened. And like, the reason everything fell is because of that history. That history has been around for so long that it makes sense that it to finally fall on now. I don't know what's going to happen with the Hollywood Foreign Press. In the article, they do detail that, okay, we understand. They were like, we understand. We're going to change our ways. They introduced this like provision that was only approved by 78 members that we are going to try our best to add more people of color within the next year. We're going to add 50% more people of color within the next year. We're going to do all these things to change. But that was not enough to keep the studios and the content creators in the loop for the Golden Globes. So as of right now, it looks like the Golden Globes is dead. And for the history of movies, that's big. That's really big. Ever since I was a kid, the Golden Globes has always been a precursor, right? It's always been, the beginning of awards season. It always happens like 3 or 4 months before the Oscars. It's always like when you see who's going to win the Oscar and things like that. Now it is dead. It is dead ski. It is done. It's not being shown NBC's not going to show it. Amazon, Netflix, and Warner Brothers are not going to bring it.
It sucks too, because like it was, I always thought besides, I think the SAG Awards is going to take over in its spot, but like it is the biggest.
Good point.
It's the biggest spot for television awards. Besides daytime Emmys, like there was daytime Emmys and stuff like that, but like the Emmys, am I wrong? Like, please correct me. Like, do the Emmys have some sort of TV show?
Like, I think they definitely have, just like the Oscars. They have like certain awards that are not shown on the television program.
Gotcha.
Right? There's definitely a whole lot of.
Does the Oscars have that? Do the Oscars have some sort? Oscars are only movies, right?
So Oscars are only movies, and it's the science of movies. Yeah.
So
they'll have
saying, So if we had Oscars. And like I always thought, Golden Globes was the one that split both. It had movies and shows.
Yeah.
And like I feel like Golden Globes were one of the highest.
That makes so much sense. You're so right.
Accolades.
That's a fantastic point.
And so now we literally just cut the guy out of like some of the best shows. Like I think about what I'm going to watch the next season, and like what I'm going to watch. I just think about like those 2010 years where the Golden Globes would be like. Oh, it was like Mad Men, Dexter, Like, it was these like crazy like dramas that were 7 seasons long, and they were fantastic shows.
Yeah,
But like, how I found out about them was honestly the Oscars. I was like, I watched. Oh, I heard this one. Maybe I should pick this up and watch it. But we're saying like now, like, what are you gonna watch? I'm gonna personally, I guess I'm gonna move over to SAGs and like watch
that
some
makes
like what the SAG Awards are gonna do now, because I think that actually pays attention to the the actors behind those shows. No, what were you gonna say? My bad.
You're so right, though. That's such a good point because you're right. This was the only true big award show that really highlighted television and television-like programs, television movies, and things like that to the masses, right? They're a really good. They're like that. This was that light, and now that that's gone, filling the void, the SAG Awards make a lot of sense. They make more sense actually because that is the Screen Actors Guild that votes on it.
Yeah.
That body is as diverse as the Actors Guild is, and it actually highlights a lot of the awards that are usually given throughout a year anyway. It is the SAG Awards, the Golden Globes. Both of those are the precursors to the Oscars, and people look at those programs and those awards to see who's going to win the Oscars. Totally makes sense, and I think there is a place here for the SAG Awards to find maybe some sort of television. I think actually they are on television, but they're like shown on like Sundance or like a one of those kind of further into the cable fold television channels.
So like the example I just pulled up that I wanted to let you, like, I just want to give you this example of Golden Globes. Golden Globes best performance in 2013 for a television series was Damian Lewis for Homeland. He won.
Yeah.
Homeland was a Showtime show.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi for Boardwalk Empire, HBO. Yeah. Bryan Cranston for Breaking Bad, AMC. Jeff Daniels for Newsroom, HBO.
Yeah.
John Hamm for Mad Men, AMC. That's like, that's insane to me. Like 2 HBO shows, 2 AMC shows. Which the content, at this time, like this content was like, you were getting Breaking Bad, you were getting Mad Men, like AMC was doing so good because they also had Dexter, Halt and Catch Fire. They had all these great shows, and like that's the reason why I found out about the show, because I found out AMC was doing good shit, and like that's just a little snippet of like all those shows. People, there's true fans to Homeland, to Boardwalk Empire, to Breaking Bad, to Mad Men. I just rewatched Newsroom for the second time because I thought it was so fucking good, and I think it was like one of I think it should be a cult classic, like kind of type of show, and why it was only given the 2 or 3 seasons that it was given. It just it was cut short from our lives.
100%. It's probably one of the best topical shows ever released. 100%. It just tells us so much about our culture that we have now. The voice of Jeff Daniels being using the words of Aaron Sorkin is just sorely missed, and I can't wait for them to sync up again and do a project again. But I think
didn't they do that president? Didn't they do that? Was he in that the Donald Trump thing?
I don't think so. I don't think that was an Aaron Sorkin project. If it was an Aaron Sorkin, is it? I don't think it was an Aaron Sorkin project.
Maybe I was just too excited. I thought it was Aaron Sorkin moving to I guess it was just Jeff Daniels, right?
Yeah, it was just Jeff Daniels, and I think he was playing Comey. He was playing FBI Director Comey during that. And then like I think kind of wrap things up here. The Golden Globes, obviously the Hollywood Foreign Press, have just been behind the times and are now and have been kind of bribery and been okay with taking those things. It's been a history of it. And now they're just reaping what they sow. This is what happens when you do that. Like the thing about American culture is like everything. Like say all you say about American culture. Like this country does have a racist streak in it. It definitely has that in it. But at the same time, the mouthpieces and the greater culture is done with marginalization. And this is an expression of it. It is expression in all of cancel culture. It is being expressed all over the land. And it does suck that one of the biggest major, awards television shows that showcases television and film, but television mostly is now going to be gone, and a lot of these projects are not going to have the accolades that it has. Hopefully, the Screen Actors Guild Awards gets a bigger light to it. Maybe NBC can license that showing of it. I believe it does get shown on a television series, on a television channel that is probably owned by one of the biggest broadcasting companies, so it'll just switch from that channel to the main broadcast channel, which kind of makes sense because that void needs to be filled. It just does for the medium, for the art. Of course, at the same time, we should also talk about the fact that award shows are just not doing really good in ratings either. I think this was the lowest rated Oscars. To be honest with you, I can understand why. I didn't even know when the Oscars was coming on. I didn't even hear about the Oscars until everyone was telling me it was the lowest rated in history. It makes sense.
I watched it. I watched the Oscars this year. There was more cringeworthy moments. That I was just like, why are we even doing this? Like let's just
100%.
That's like the day that, you know, those are the days where like I come in and it's like sometimes it's just better to start a fire and start over. like burn it all down, man. Like
burn it all down.
There was some bad stuff. I don't know.
This new world that we're living in, this new attitude that we're in, it's just all shifting and changing super fucking fast.
Oh, I thought you were saying just like burn it all down. It
is burning all down. It is burning. It is burning down. This culture that we've been in for years is being destroyed, and it is being replaced with something else. And you know what it is being arbitered by? Diversity. A diverse America is happening. You can't stop it. Yes, we're having less babies, but more of the babies that are being born are diverse babies. It's just the truth. You can't stop it. It's coming. The minorities will be the majority already, and that gap's going to get bigger. And this is what's happening. Look, Americans are human beings, and human beings love each other, and we fucking hang out. And you're just not going to stop that from happening. It's just not going to happen. And this is the kind of things that happen because of that. All right, man. I think we did it.
Si se puede.
Si se puede. Órale. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Arnie Diaz. Yeah. And this is Andy D. This is Andy D.
Oh. I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah. I thought you might just sink off me. Let's try that again. Yeah. I'm Arnie Diaz.
I'm Andy. Whatever.
Please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think about the Golden Globe controversy. Are you cool with it? What other award shows that you watch and like, or awards that actually give out during the year that maybe none of us really know about that you think we should pay attention to? Let us know that as well. I also have a little project called The Arnie Diaz Show, available on all podcasting platforms. This is the Kinetic Impressions, also available everywhere. YouTube channel, podcasts. Drew, what do we always tell the fine people?
Ver un mendigo película.
Órale!
Go watch a fucking movie.
Go watch a fucking movie. All right. We're going to move on to the next story. Let me cue myself up for a little...
I don't even think I said that right.
I don't know you did either. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. The syllable, not the right emphasis. It is what it is. No. How do we say this guy's name again? It's a...
Ta-Nehisi.
Ta-Nehisi. All right. Let's rock and roll.
The faster you say it, the better it's just gonna go.
Ta-Nehisi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
And today we're going to be talking about some very interesting movie news, to say the least. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Superman is probably going to happen. Like, it is for real being talked about by some of the most reputable journalists in the movie industry. Black Superman is happening. Warner Brothers is trying to save its ass. Before I get into the article, I just want to get your initial impressions, Drew. What do you think about a Black Superman movie?
Dude, I thought we were going to break the barrier with Spider-Man. I was really hoping we'd break the barrier with Spider-Man. I thought, you know, when all those Donald Glover rumors were coming out, I thought that's what was going to be it. I remember that too. I was just, I don't know, to see something as, I'm sorry, but like as white, as cultured, as culturally white as possible of the Superman, like, just story arc, like growing up in Kansas, I don't know why Kryptons were only white. Like, all my life.
Some of them are green. Actually, just one of
I
them,
mean,
Brainiac.
like,
Yeah.
I never got
And
that.
some of them
but
was
like,
so super white, it was like they were wearing makeup. It was like,
yeah,
this
and
is
I'm
like,
like, yeah, this is the whitest superhero ever. And I'm sorry, but like, you could totally believe that like Batman or even Spider-Man were gonna be a person of color, but I didn't think it was gonna be Superman that crossed us over
the
first.
Spider-Verse did break it, right? The
Yes.
Spider-Verse was
No,
versed.
I know.
Miles Morales, Puerto
No.
Rican,
Yes, that should have been, but like I'm just saying, I'm
black.
sorry. What I meant more was in the movie industry. I
Yeah,
didn't think we were gonna,
yeah, okay, live action.
in the live action movie industry. I was hoping that we'd totally get who was going to cross the line. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I was like, who was going to walk over and actually do that per person of color. I'd never in a million years thought Superman would be the first one to do it live action.
Yeah.
I totally thought it'd be a different superhero. I mean, like the other day I heard like what we've been talking about, like Static Shock was gonna come in, and I'm like, are y'all serious? Like we're gonna come in with Static Shock before we get any kind of like true like. And I'm so glad. Oh, I'm skipping Black Panther, but like like
right.
Black Panther was Black Panther,
Yes.
and he is what we needed as a hero. But
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, like, to see somebody that's been portrayed as white for all my life, and then now we're gonna get a black Superman. I'm so proud. I'm proud that it's Superman. It's a surprise. It was a surprise. I told you that, like, I even saw this clickbait on Facebook, and I got super excited because I was like, wait, Tom Welling wants to play opposite of Robert Pattinson? I was like, no, I'm done with this. I'm done with this white Clark Kent shit. Like, we need...
Yeah,
we needed this.
Okay, so let's get into some particulars. This article is from the Hollywood Reporter. All right, probably some of the best guys in the business. So this article, it's a really long article. It's really interesting. Just to kind of break it down from the article. Source. A source says jj Abrams, who is producing the film, is not among the many possibilities being considered to direct, while Warner Brothers announced in February that the celebrated author Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing this. Ta-Nehisi is writing the screenplay, and Abrams is producing. It did not address the matter of helming, but insiders say Warner's and DC are committed to hiring a black actor to tackle what will be the first cinematic incarnation of Superman featuring a black actor. And then and the kind of like bring everything back. So J.J. Abrams is going to produce this film. Warner Brothers has announced that this movie is happening. They have also stated that this is not going to be part of the regular universe. So essentially, Warner Brothers and DC have completely committed to the multiverse of DC movies. So this will be just one universe of Superman to be black. Now, for context, J.J. Abrams did actually write and was going to direct a full Superman movie a few years ago, I think after Bryan Singer's Superman Returns kind of flopped. They gave J.J. Abrams a chance at it, and then he eventually just directed and wrote the Star Trek movies, for sure. But also, the fact that they're bringing in the fucking multiverse thing about it also kind of gives Warner Brothers kind of a cop-out, right? So essentially, they'll still be able to introduce a white Superman, but with also bringing in a black Superman. But also at the same time, this does kind of guarantee the idea of a black Superman. And I'm really interested in, first of all, your thoughts on a J.J. Abrams Superman movie, right? Because that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing, right? If J.J. is actually producing this thing, that's the whole thing. And now, and then your thoughts on the fact that they're actually bringing in what looks like to be a multi-Superman universe here.
I know.
It's like, it's kind of like have your cake and eat it too here, right? Have a diverse Superman with also having a white Superman in the wings just to take the mantle as well. It's a cop, sure, but it's also like, hey, we're getting a black Superman, and they're not only like gun ho about it. They've announced the project. let us know who's writing and are waiting for a black director. Which, I mean, who's going to direct this movie? Warner Brothers has some amazing directors of color in their back catalog for sure. I definitely see. I mean, why not Ryan Coogler? You know?
So, right. I mean, like he did do Black Panther, and that's funny that you say that. So, like, I was looking up before we started getting this because we needed to know the name. I started looking up Ta-Nehisi Coates, and Ta-Nehisi Coates, however you say it.
We're very sorry. We don't know how to say
out.
your name.
You're a good man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He writes for the Atlantic, so I was skimming through some articles. He's actually he's like a apparently like he's a pretty well known author. He has a couple of legitimate books out that are highly rated and stuff like that. And he just skimming through some of the articles that he wrote for the Atlantic. I mean, he wrote a Kanye piece. He wrote a Barack Obama piece. He wrote a superhero piece. He talks about him writing for he's actually a special thanks on IMDb in the Black Panther. So he's helped write some stuff in Black Panther. So he's worked with the Ryan Coogler and that kind of stuff. And he also just got through. He has a special thanks in the writing group for Falcon and Winter Soldier. So he's already in this comic book writing game. He might be a smaller piece of the puzzle and in the background, but like I'm glad that they got this guy to start this, to help begin with this process of the of Black Superman. What you were asking me was like this Superman multiverse. I got excited when we first heard about Multiverse. I'm kind of sick of it now. Because I see one way that like I thought DC could really heal their structure of movies with it, and now they're doing what DC does best, and like let's make it very messy all over again.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like DC Comics, Warner Brothers, we don't do so well together. Let's make things messy again.
No, it does definitely reek of all that because as at this point it's like they released the Snyder Cut, which is not really part of anything real. They released they're like the last Wonder Woman wasn't exactly great, so there really just still doesn't feel like Warner Brothers knows where it's going with it. But then also they've got in production a Batman movie that has nothing to do with the Justice League movies. They have a Flashpoint movie, which has everything to do with the Justice League movies, but is also a multiverse movie, bringing back like 3 other Batmans into the fold. And then we've got this. And it just doesn't feel like there's a cohesive idea besides the fact that there's going to be a multiverse, which is kind of a cop-out because it just lets Warner Brothers do whatever it wants in terms of just the kind of ideas that it wants to bring out. Like, I love the idea of a Black Superman. I love that idea. I love the idea of bringing that mythos and breaking the tradition and just putting as much energy and money into a project like this that is subservient, that is very like counter to the culture in a very, very like rock and roll way. Honestly, yeah, I love that. But then also it also kind of speaks to just the haphazard way that Warner Brothers is putting together its DC universe. And like, I want this movie to fucking rock. I want it to be good. And the fact that jj-Abrams is behind this excites the shit out of me because I think that guy, he knows how to do action and story together in the same vein. He knows how to bring those two things together in an entertaining way. And it does not, like, I feel like this movie is going to be entertaining whoever they pick to direct it. But yeah, at the same time, it's also like, what are they doing with what's happening? Like, what is in the most like fucking like ancient aliens way? What is the DC universe right now? What is the DC cinematic universe? It is just filled to the brim with ideas that I just don't understand where it's going, what's going to happen here. But that aside, Yes, I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad that they're throwing caution to the wind and they're going to change things. People are not going to like this. People are not going to like this at all. I can't hear you, Drew. You're trying to speak, but I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
trying to deal with that like video that got wild in my unlimited supply of browsers that I have up. But like
Yeah.
anyway, JJ Abrams like has like 19 projects that have some red text on them on IMDb. He has 19 projects right now
Wow.
that are either in post, filming, pre, or announced productions. Like this guy's working on so much stuff right now. Like
Fuck yeah.
he's the busiest man in the world, and like yeah, like he didn't have too many superheroes on his belt. You know, he obviously has the Rise of Skywalker. Westworld is something that like I've loved to see. I've loved seeing him be a part of. But the Superman project and Justice League Dark, it sounds like Warner Brothers is kind of trying to like keep him around and have him have some free reign.
Well, they're just gravitating to as many like filmmakers as they can that they think can make something
Yeah.
good and entertaining, right? Like I feel like his involvement is just purely like, oh, you make cool, awesome movies, and you can put things together. Why don't you maybe try your hand here and try to make a superhero movie with us? But he's not directing any of them.
Right.
He's just kind of hanging out in the fold, you know. Like there really isn't a set idea of what's going on, and he's totally been brought
No.
on to just kind of fill out the idea, which I mean makes sense. Like give that guy like I think J.J. Abrams is really good at like a story structure and like
And you know, like
make
he could be scarred, man. Like I mean, the last thing he really did was Rise of Skywalker, and you know we've all heard the horror stories of like what went on
yeah
behind the scenes with like with producers and executive producers asking for this and getting that, um, especially with the overall fan and love and hate with that series that already has started.
yeah
Um,
it's quite interesting.
I like I loved his Star Trek. Like it is a great Star Trek, like story in itself. I'm not saying like it fell in line with everything Star Trek. I don't know. But like it was a great story and I thought he did great. There was a lot of light flares. There was too many light flares for my taste, but man, it was a great it was a great trilogy. I loved it.
Yeah, for sure. You're right, and he has been brought in as he was brought in as the fixer at the end there because he actually actively did not want to direct any more Star Wars movies after the first one. Like they offered him the entire trilogy, but he was like, I just can't do it. I don't want to I don't want to move to London, move my entire family for like half a decade. Or be away from my family for half a decade and just like do this movie thing, but he was totally brought in as a fixer because of the reception that you know the Last Jedi got. And it's kind of like what he's been doing. He is that producer guy that is kind of brought in to just kind of like put a project on an even keel, build the foundation for it, and like that's just kind of the feeling that I'm getting with everything coming out of Warner Brothers. They just like don't really have a cohesive idea of what they want. They have cool, competent directors into the fold, kind of figuring out what they want to do and kind of what they need to do. But I do like JJ's hands in this.
Yeah,
Um,
and I just want to say one thing. Like, it's not like what Marvel's doing is totally cohesive either. Like, it's not like they're totally trying to stick to one lane of everything. I mean, they have different directors coming in to do different projects. They're just setting up their stories up better and they're consistently keeping a flow of characters so that you don't get lost.
I mean,
And
but
I
that's all
think
you need to do, right?
the average fan doesn't want to
Like,
be lost within who they can't even keep a Batman for two movies. And like that's saying something, dude, because I mean
yeah,
like if you can't keep a Batman for two or three movies, I'm like we're replacing him every three movies. I mean that's fine. Like I get it. You can't pay somebody forever. But like now we're finally starting to mourn the loss of Tony Stark, and like Robert Downey Jr. has been Tony Stark for a decade,
yeah.
and And like what that has done, just that alone, that one character being consistent makes you forget about the Hulk. It makes you forget about the inconsistencies before that. Makes you forget what happened with the Punisher before. It makes you forget all these bad maneuvers before Marvel got their shit together. And I mean, like, it's done. It's obviously done well for them.
Yeah.
Because they've just, all you had to do is start with that one consistency. And I really do think the Dark Knight trilogy started that consistency for Warner Brothers. And they could have done the same thing with it. They didn't have to keep those same characters. They just could have kept it all in that same world at least. And they didn't even want to do that. So they went off track. They're like, we always go off track. Let's go off track. And I don't know. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted talking about it. Because like, I know it's never gonna get better. It's like talking politics. It's like politics is like Warner Brothers and comic books is as exhausting as politics.
That's 100% right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just it's the old guard. Let's switch gears. So I have a list of black directors here. Ava DuVernay makes sense. Because she was going to do a New Gods movie, which was a Warner Brothers movie, but it was shut down. She makes sense. Ryan Coogler makes sense because of his relationship with the writer. Jordan Peele makes sense because of his pedigree as a director and obviously the things that he's done in the last couple of years. I think Spike Lee's an option. Be interesting.
I'm just. Do you always keep like a list of black directors on your computer up at all times?
Not always.
That's kind of cool, man.
Not always.
That's really cool. Respect. Like,
I think real world. I think Ava DuVernay is gonna get it because of her previous relationship with Warner Brothers. She was gonna direct the movie for them, but they shut it down. And I also think Ryan Coogler is a possibility because I think that. Michael B. Jordan is still a possibility for this, even though in the article he even says that he's not part of it. He's just going to watch it. I still think he's 100% still part of the conversation. He has to be, because of everything. Because if they could get Ryan Coogler, it just makes sense. Ryan Coogler just makes a lot of sense. Ryan Coogler is like he's done a superhero movie before. He's done a black superhero movie before. He's actually just finished. He's actually I believe filming for Black Panther 2 is happening right now. We haven't talked about that movie, but that movie is happening. It is. There's a second Black Panther movie. Makes sense. And I also think Ava DuVernay makes sense too because of her relationship with the studio.
I bet that's kind of what's keeping Michael B. Jordan away from it right now is because I don't know if we know. Like when we broke out that story of like who could be the next Black Panther. I really think like the sure thing would be to somehow bring we've talked about it and we talked about it a long time ago, but now I start seeing articles about it that Michael B. Jordan training Shuri would be like the way to go, like that. And that's the cool way to go. So like, I don't know if like Marvel's even having second thoughts about that, but maybe that's why he doesn't want to sign up for a movie right now because he doesn't know where his other career is going to go.
Well, he's probably busy
with Creed. He's busy with Creed. And Creed and whatever other offhanded projects he's doing that's not a superhero movie or a boxing movie. He has a lot of projects under his belt. So does Coogler. I mean, like everyone's just Hollywood is going on a full rampage right now, and the it people are really busy right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, including the people we will talk about next.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I think Ava is probably going to get it just because of her relationship with the studio and the fact that they canceled one of her movies. She's fantastic. Selma was incredible. And she is a comic book fan from when she was a kid as well. So she's been in the world. That's why she was going to do New Gods. That was going to be the movie she was going to do. But I think that's gonna happen for her, and I think like her directing a Superman movie. Like what do you think this? I mean, it's gonna be Kansas again, right? I think I should look at this up. I should look this up. Maybe you can for me. Has there been a black Superman comic book? I think there has been, and I think it has happened before, and I believe that the story was basically the exact same. Hey, alien from Krypton. I think everyone on Krypton was of color. I even think there's like
Calvin.
a
His name was Calvin Ellis.
Calvin Ellis. There it is. There was a
And it's like
Calvin Ellis.
Kal-El, like Calvin, Kal-El. Let's see, it
Yeah.
makes
The character is unnamed in his first appearance in Final Crisis and was assumed to simply be Barack Obama. However, the release. Oh my God! It was a black Superman modeled after Barack Obama, which makes so much sense.
that's
That's hilarious.
awesome.
Look at him.
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
put him up on the screen. It makes
March.
so much
It
sense.
came out in March 2009.
Calvin Ellis. Look at that. Look at that. He looks like Obama. Oh, that makes so much sense. Let me see his origin here. Calvin Ellis, Kryptonian name Kal-El, was also known as Superman, is a Kryptonian president of the United States on a different Earth in the multiverse. Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh my God, he was president. He was a Superman. He was a black Superman president. Oh, oh my God, you know how pissed off people would be if it was a black Superman president. Oh my God.
I want this version.
Oh God, he operates from the White House where Brainiac serves as his personal computer and even covers for him while he does his duties as Superman.
This is awesome.
God, during Final Crisis, the Superman joined the team of different versions of Supermans from the multiverse. Oh God.
I want a 4-hour Snyder cut of this.
Oh God. Oh shit, that's good. It's probably not going to be that. But that would be incredible. That would absolutely be incredible. Black Superman president. Oh God. I think we did it, man. I think this project is necessary, beautiful, and it's gonna piss off the right people. I want you to be pissed off. So I hope it happens. I hope it's gonna be good. Hopefully, someone of note. I bet Ava DuVernay is gonna direct it, and whoever is the Superman, who would be Superman? Like, who would be a good Superman? Oh, you know who would be a good Superman? You know who would be a good Superman? Who could play Superman? Who's that guy from fucking the guy from Dallas? Chambers. What's his name? Remember his name? The guy Chambers who we used to compete with during our TFA time here in Dallas, who is now on he's on that TV show, kind of hitting it big, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
What's his name? Let me put it up here real quick. Lovecraft Country. I hell yeah, I could see him being Superman. I forget his name. Something Chambers.
No, it's not Chamber. I can't think of what his name is.
Looking it up right now. What's his name? MDB right now. Jonathan Myers? No.
Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Shout out, fucking local Texas boy, Jonathan Majors, Black Superman.
Do you know the guy, Kingsley Ben-Adir? I really want him to be it.
Okay, so this is Jonathan Majors.
My vote would, if you want to look him up, would be Kingsley Ben-Adir. He played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami. And then he played he's already played Malcolm X. He's played Barack Obama in the Comey Rule. Just to name a few. Okay. Sounds like a guy who was given some major characters. Yeah, he's been in he was like a love interest for Anna Kendrick in her HBO show. He's already been in Peaky Blinders and gotten killed off of Peaky Blinders. What
was his name again?
Kingsley.
Okay, so he played Malcolm X.
Yeah, he played Malcolm.
Oh shit, he does look like a fucking clean cut boy. Let's look him up.
And he also played Barack Obama.
Dude, I bet this is him playing Barack Obama in this picture.
He's and he was in the he's just done fun stuff. He was in he was in that like a weird Netflix sci-fi show with the dancing and the different alternative universes. The OA. Do you remember the OA?
Oh yeah. I watched the first like 5 episodes of that.
Yeah, he
Super
was in
weird.
the. He's been in High Fidelity. I mean,
Wow, he's been around.
yeah, and he's a British actor. You know how we feel about British actors, man.
Absolutely, I love British actors. British actors are shit. Dude, yeah. So yeah, I like Jonathan Majors, local hometown boy. I'd
I,
appreciate
I
that.
I'd love
Wait,
John Majors or this guy.
yeah,
I my top two picks, man.
absolutely. Fuck yeah. All right, I think we did it, Drew. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know who you would like to either direct or act in a Black Superman movie announced by Warner Brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. What world is this? What is this place that we're living in? We're like Hollywood studios are trying to make diverse casts. The Golden Globes is gone because it's racist. What is happening? Diversity, ladies and gentlemen. Diversity.
I love all of it. I love all of it.
All right. Si se puede, güey. Si se puede. Órale. What we got a Mexican fucking Superman in the multiverse? Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe. We are available everywhere as Kinetic Impressions on YouTube and all the podcasting platforms known to humanity. Drew, what do we always tell the fine people?
Go watch a fucking movie.
Go watch a fucking movie. All right. Let's cue up the last story of the night. It should be quick. Should be easy. I'm going to read a little bit from the synopsis of the movie on this one. All right. Ready to rock, my dude?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
And today we're going to be talking about our favorite filmmakers are finally making another movie. Phil Lord and Chris Miller have confirmed that their next directorial project will be a movie about the pandemic. Quite topical. Okay. Quite topical. From an article from slashfilm.com, the movie will be entitled The Promotion. Is that right? Did I read that right? The Promotion?
Premonition?
The Premonition? The Premonition?
I don't know. Is that a word? I don't know that word.
It's a word, but I don't know what it is. But from the article, for those who could read between the lines, the censored news out of China was terrifying, but the president insisted that there was nothing wrong. Fortunately, we are still a nation of skeptics. Fortunately, those who among us who study pandemics are willing to look unflinchingly at worst-case scenarios. Michael Lewis's taut, brilliant nonfiction thriller pits a band of medical visionaries against the wall of arrogance that was the official response of the Trump administration to the outbreak of COVID-19. The characters you will meet in these pages are as fascinating as they are unexpected. A 13-year-old girl's science project on transmission of an airborne pathogen develops into a very grown-up model of disease control. A local public health officer uses her worm's eye view to see what the CDC misses, and it reveals great truths about American society. A secret team of doctors nicknamed Wolverines has everything necessary to fight the pandemic. Brilliant backgrounds, world-class lab, prior experience with pandemics, scares of the bird flu and swine flu, everything that is except official permission to implement their work. I love everything. Everything about this. I love the tenacity, the fucking cojones. The reason they're tackling this project is a big, just say it. It's a big F you to the fucking response, which I get. You know, we're not political here, but we can all understand where they're coming from. I love the worldly of it. I love that it feels like a 1990s big action movie. And the thing that the 1990s did really well was that it brought together different characters from like across the world doing different things. And then eventually in the end, they all kind of came together to kind of fight one thing. You know, what do you think about this project, Drew? What What is your initial thoughts?
Dude, just looking at it, I mean, like they picked, they picked they're tag teaming with Amy Pascal, and like she's done she's done Venom, she's done Into the Spider Verse with
She's done a
them.
whole lot. She's like a storied.
On top of that, she's like produced The Post, Molly's Game, Ghostbusters, like
Oh yeah, she's done a lot.
the redone. Like she's done a lot of stuff, and like that all feels like something we can put into this movie. Ghostbusters, Molly's Game, and The Post, and Venom. Venom. We can put this into a pandemic movie, right? Like those are all ideas that we can put like great for pandemic stuff. But no, I think yeah, exactly what you said. It's like a great fuck you to the response, and I I don't even have words right now. Like this just like I'm in shock from that read. I'm like, what? What?
No, I think it's like what I like obviously look, like you and I have our own ideas and thoughts about what happened with the pandemic response, but I think the thing that we can all say and so for sure is that there was literally a fucking attitude of just let's not do much. Let's just put that aside. Put it aside. This is a Phil Lord and Chris Miller project. These men just know how to do story, humor, and just pathos so good. The pathos they put in their movies and their scripts is just incredible. You feel for their characters. Their movies are fun, but they're also serious. And this is going to be a different tone for them. This is a disaster movie that they're doing. And and on top of that, I love the concept. I love this. It's like I said, it harkens back to those old 90s disaster movies. The really good ones. The really good 90s disaster movies did the same thing, man. They always brought together a like hodgepodge group of an ensemble cast, each of them in their own way, kind of like outcasts, and they're different, different like disciplines, and they just came together to go do a thing. I love that aspect about it, and I'm really interested to see what these guys can do with the disaster flick. Obviously, the fact that it's super topical is just interesting and crazy. like it's just like and I'm interested to see what Hollywood does with the situation. Right? I don't think we've ever like lived through something so fucking massive, and then like 2 years later have gotten a movie about it this fucking quickly. I mean, probably a couple things, but like this is Phil Miller, Chris Lord. They've never made like this is like Outbreak meets Independence Day, and It's fucking Chris Miller and Phil Lord, so it's also meets the Lego movie and fucking Spider-Verse. Like I mean, so intrigued.
We might get a Netflix movie, not a Netflix, GameStop. We might get a GameStop movie in 2 years.
Yeah.
So like that might be one of them, but it was saying like this was kind of based on like what was it, like Michael Lewis's 60 Minutes story?
Well, it's a book. It's Michael Lewis's book, and Michael Lewis is the guy who wrote.
But like Phil Lord, like they like watched his 60 Minutes segment in this article, and Phil Lord like they just like read the book.
Gotcha.
And it says pulling an all-nighter to read the book after watching the 60 Minutes segment on Lewis. Like Phil Lord and that's what Phil Lord and Chris Miller did.
Right on.
So
right on.
like they're like it's obviously like this is like one of those things where like they're trying to just like what we were talking about the GameStop story, like they're trying to beat the races to this story. They're trying to get this story before anyone else does. Because like Michael Lewis did
The Big Short and
Moneyball, Big Short, Blindside. Are just a couple of his books, so like there's just some of his notable works. This guy makes money. This guy makes money when somebody adapts his stuff. So if you can find a book that you can adapt, you gotta do it, right? Like you gotta throw some money in there, because most likely some studio's gonna give this guy money. And I mean, dude, Moneyball was amazing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Moneyball,
Big Short was great too.
And Big Short, and like they went 3 different directions. I mean, like Moneyball went Aaron Sorkin's way, and I thought Aaron Sorkin did a fabulous job, whereas Big Short went with who's that? Like Adam McKay as a producer. Oh, he directed. Yeah, Adam McKay directed that. And then Blindside, and they've all been to the Academy Awards. So like, I don't know, man. We're looking. This could be good. This could be really good. So.
I'm super excited about it. I'm excited about all aspects of this in so many ways. At this point, they can do no wrong. To me, I hope that rings true for this project as well. They're incredible. I mean, they just I don't know what it is about them. They just know how to bring a project together in a way that just really fucking speaks to an audience. Like they just understand our like the like connection to the people watching a movie, and they just can introduce characters and stories that just really connect. They're so good. Spider-Verse was amazing. First Oscar-winning Marvel movie ever. The Lego movie was great as well. And I really, really want to see what their Han Solo movie would have been had they not been kicked off that movie. Anyway, I'm excited for this movie. I hope it's great. I'm excited to see how they tackle it. And I also want to see the way Hollywood portrays the beginning of this pandemic. It's not over yet. It's not over. But it's definitely like something that we're going to see movies like this coming out, of course, about this time, this crazy, crazy time that we're in. But yeah, man, super excited. Super excited. I think we did it. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, subscribe. Please let us know what your thoughts would be on this potential movie coming out from the people who did the Spider-Verse and the Lego movie. Also, please comment on who you would think would be badass in this movie. Personally, I think they should go for some old actors, some like people from like the old 90s, like, I don't know, Richard Dreyfuss. Bring him into the fold. I want to see Richard Dreyfuss being one of the scientists in this movie.
I want to see the entire Casino cast. Just
just like Ray Liotta, the scientist guy.
Just instead of like, Scorsese directing them, I just want to see Lord and Miller do it.
I bet this. Watch your premonition come true. Ray Liotta is one of the scientists.
Fucking funny, dude. It'd be fucking funny, right? Or Joe Pesci, like Pesci's the scientist, and just like yelling all the time. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. I'm super excited for this. All right. Please like, comment, subscribe. We are available everywhere as Kinetic Impressions. We've been doing this for a year. Haven't told anybody about it until now. Welcome to the project, ladies and gentlemen. Drew, what do we always tell fine people of the internet?
Go watch a movie.
Go watch a fucking movie. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to end stream now. And